This is Ian Noel Camalotis for CEntertainmentMedia, and this is ChatterBox. Hello again, this is Ian Camalotis for CEntertainmentMedia, and I'm here with Buff Bunny Mika, one of the cosplay guests here. And before I get to any of the questions, Mika, is that a reference to the Attack on Titan?
It is.
Mika,
so actually, how I got my username was I wanted to be just Buff Bunny, but because bunnies are my favorite animals and I work out, I'm moderately muscular. So I wanted to be just Buff Bunny, but turns out that's a clothing brand. So I was like, oh, well, I already go by Mika in real life just because it's a nickname just for like my safety and whatnot. So I just tagged my name at the end of it, and that's how I got Buff Bunny Mika.
Okay. Well, so you brought up a few things that I wanted to touch on. Mm-hmm. So what got you into cosplay to start off?
So I've actually been into anime, video games, like anything considered nerd media since I was a child, thanks to my mom. You guys might have seen that in my bio that I credited my mom for making me the nerd I am today, just because she showed me the likes of Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura. She didn't really care for Pokemon, so I kind of watched it when she wasn't around. She thought it was annoying. But she's also super into Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, Castlevania, Star Wars. So I got exposed to that at a very early age, and I also always loved dressing up. And then I found out around age 11 that you could dress up more than once a year. It wasn't confined to just Halloween because there were these things called anime conventions. So I went to my first one when I was 15, back in 2011, the summer of my freshman year of high school, and ever since then, I started making my own stuff. I'm kind of on a break right now just because I'm in the middle of moving. I haven't made anything recently, but my new place will have a craft room.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to start upping my game again.
Do you sell some of your cosplays after you wear them, or is it more of a collection for you?
Some stuff I have sold, and I'm planning on selling more, mainly just because if it doesn't fit or if I just don't plan on wearing it anymore. But if it's something that I made or something like a favorite character, I'll hang on to it just for sentimental reasons. Now,
you brought up you also you work out. Mm-hmm. I believe you do martial arts as well.
I do, yeah.
How does that play a role into doing your cosplay? Because I feel that it gives you a better insight in terms of how you want to do poses and everything.
I wouldn't say, I also model, so I think that also plays into posing and whatnot. Yeah. But I started doing martial arts actually when I was, I want to say 10 or 11. I was in elementary school as an after-school program thing. Did Taekwondo for a while, but then when I got to high school, I had to quit just because it was like a kind of a school life balance where I started getting into theater and whatnot. Which also does kind of help. I feel like a lot of cosplayers have been theater kids at some point in their life. But what actually got me really seriously into working out was Mikasa, believe it or not. I was so inspired just by her, just because I saw, as nerdy as this is going to sound, a lot of myself in her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she was super athletic, and at the time I wasn't really. I wasn't like out of shape, I just wasn't really doing anything. So I was like, I'm going to get back into working out and lifting. So that's been about something I'm doing for about 4 years consistently. But I didn't start taking up Muay Thai until the end of 2020. Because as much as I love Taekwondo, I wanted a martial art that was a little bit more brutal, I guess, for lack of a better word. I would say that I tie that into my cosplay was that I have a very specific demographic of characters I cosplay, typically dark-haired, badass women. So like Ada Wong, Mikasa, Yor, that sort of thing. So they kind of all like have a type that they tie together, and they all are proficient in martial arts or strong, muscular in some sort of way.
Okay, so you've got a certain type of characters that you're drawn to.
Oh yeah, that, and I hate wearing a wig. So anytime I can use my real hair, I will.
I need advice for this because I can't do this.
I'm not the right. I wish I could help you, but I'm not the right person to ask. I wear wigs on occasion if I have to. Like Princess Zelda, I wear a wig because I'm not blonde. But if it's a character that I can use my real hair for, I absolutely will.
Gotcha. Well, with the way that cosplay has changed, and this was something I've discussed with other cosplayers, because of social media, how do you feel it's really affected you as a cosplay model?
I actually have social media to thank for being able to do this full time. I know that's how a lot of cosplayers got into this, but I actually wasn't really active on social media until 2020. during lockdown because I was working a job that was not considered essential. So when we shut down, I was actually working around like 45 hours a week to 50 hours sometimes at my old job. So I went from 100 to 0 real quick when we shut down due to the pandemic. So that actually gave me some time to start sharing cosplays like online. Like I posted them on my personal Facebook, but I didn't even have an Instagram until 2021.
Oh, just last year.
Yeah, I had a Twitter, but it was like a private venting account, and I had made it public probably like early 2020 just to start posting stuff. But then when I wasn't working, that's when I started having time to start posting more cosplay and interact with the community. I have friends who've been doing it for a while, so I feel like they could probably give a better insight. But I definitely think social media is really to thank for us being able to share our craft and being able to turn it into a job. Whether you're selling, like, whether you're doing commissions, because I've got a friend who like does this full-time solely making commissions for people and then running like how-tos on Patreon. People who get modeling gigs out of this, people who do like Patreon or OF or anything like that. It's a really good, I guess, like platform and segue to be able to make this, to be able to monetize it, basically.
Okay.
It's still something that I feel like I'm learning because, like I said, I've only had Instagram for like about a year and a half now. But overall, it's been very helpful. Like, there's ups and downs to social media, but I feel like that comes with anything. You kind of have to go into this knowing that there's always going to be negative people no matter who you are. But no one's ever going to come up to you in real life and act like that. At least not in my experience.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, since you like being drawn to very athletic, very active characters, have you thought about doing some also like some short video clips more?
I have reels on Instagram. Like I said, I've been really busy the past year because I moved last year, around this time last year, now I'm moving again. So social media, I haven't been able to post as much as I'd like to on social media in that regard because I need someone to film for me. I need a space for it. But I do hope to post. I have posted a couple workout videos, like tutorials, and some behind the scenes of some of my martial arts training, but I'm hoping to post more of that in the future. Okay. Because one of my goals, and he didn't tell me his name, so if you see this, I don't remember what your name was, but thank you for coming up to me earlier. Someone came up to me and asked me, like, I need advice on just how to get started with working out. I have a very busy schedule. I'm not really sure what to do. And he and I had a really nice conversation, and I really appreciate that he felt comfortable enough to talk to me about this, because that's ultimately like a huge goal that I have in this community, is to help other cosplayers beat gym intimidation and find a form of exercise that makes them happy, that doesn't feel like a chore, and that works for them in their schedule. Okay. Just because there's so many different forms of exercise out there that it's not limited just to walking on the treadmill and lifting weights. There's martial arts, there's yoga, there's dancing, there's biking, there's swimming, there's so many possibilities. So I really want to encourage people to explore those because the options are honestly endless. Okay.
Well, speaking of cosplay, and especially just the look of it, there's a few issues that have come up in cosplay community, and it comes with any kind of community, but especially in cosplay, there's always number one, there's sometimes bullying in terms of if somebody doesn't fit or look like that character, and then there's also the cosplay is not consent thing. Mm-hmm. How often have you had to, you or any of your close cosplay friends had to really deal with that? And then what are some of the things you would suggest, we would like to bring attention for the community as a whole?
Well, obviously cosplay is not consent. I don't care how somebody is dressed. They can walk around with just pasties on their nipples and a thong, and that's still not consent. Unless you get express permission, yes, you can touch me, you can take a photo of me, anything like that, you don't have permission. And it's really unfortunate that in this community, some people think that just because someone dresses sexy or feels like good in their own skin, does boudoir shoots, that's an invitation for harassment. I don't really have any advice to deal with it in person, just because I feel like the best thing to do is just always have a buddy with you, know where security is, that sort of thing. But I would like to tell people who do think it's okay to do that to not, but I feel like that should be a given. Just be a decent person.
They should know this.
Online, I feel like this is going to be kind of hypocritical just because I used to be kind of known for like always firing back, but at this point, don't feed into people who leave comments like that. Just report them, because they do want, it's okay every once in a while to kind of like, if you have a really good comeback, to say something, but 9 times out of 10 what they want is just attention. Just don't give it to them. Just send their tweet or their post or whatever to a group chat, have them get reported. It usually does get taken down. Okay. As far as bullying and harassment goes, for people not looking like the character, not being the right body type, height, whatever, at the end of the day, I don't care if you do this professionally or not, if it's just a hobby. We're all grown-ass adults in costume. It's not that deep.
And this is a community that we all care for too. So
Exactly.
it's like why
We should, I don't understand. I mean, I should say I do understand. I mean, I guess I don't understand the mindset, but there are always going to be naysayers out there in any community, really, where if you're not skinny enough, if you're not like pretty enough, what have you, there's always going to be people like that. Unfortunately, it's unavoidable. I just want to reiterate, like what I said, we're all nerds in costume. I don't care if you have 1,000 followers, 5 followers, hundreds of thousands. At the end of the day, we're grown-ass adults wearing costumes all together, and that should be enough to be like, hey, we're all friends, we're all family here.
Okay. Well, one thing I always like to ask my guests before I end chatting with them is, what advice do you have for anyone that wants to get into cosplay? I know there's a lot of different advice from different cosplayers, but what are some things that you feel people who want to either get into the hobby or even expand on their experience with it?
I'm trying to think, since I've been doing this for so long, just have fun with it. Pick a character that you know you're going to enjoy wearing, because I know a lot of people feel pressure to do what's popular right now, or like anything that they think will get them attention, but you're going to have more fun if you pick a character that you love from a series that you love and doing it because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. It's really easy to fall under pressure, and I definitely am guilty of it, but at the end of the day, do what makes you happy, because you're going to be happier than trying to conform to everything else.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. I'm looking forward to the rest of the convention. Also, what you have also that you have at the vendor alley, and then if there's anything else that you want to let the audience know, is there anything, like where can they follow you?
My @ on all social media is @BuffBunnyMika. My display name on social media, though, is Chad Casa, so I understand it gets a little bit confusing, but if you're trying to find my actual social media, it's @BuffBunnyMika.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you for interviewing me.